welcome to Bestie Hotline.
Bring.
I'm Kate Reeves.
I'm Gemma Peanut. I just have to catch vibes, you know? You're putting something down. I got to pick it up. I got to have yes and energy.
I love that. Thank you so much.
It would be weird if you were like, I'm Kate Reeves. And I'm like, and I'm Gemma Peanut. Like, it just wouldn't work.
People would be like, what's the tea?
Yeah, they're
Amazing.
off each
They're
other.
Off each other. Guys, we have just wrapped on a full week of filming.
So we feel a little crazy.
We feel crazy. Okay, it's been huge. We've been
Huge.
Huge.
She said huge.
It's been huge.
It's like people who say stupid.
Guys, it's been huge. Can I tell you a fun little anecdote that is relevant, but you're going to have to stick with me?
Go on.
When I used to spend significant time in Scotland,
Yes.
not when I lived there, but just we'd visit for like a month at a time. And the Scottish accent it's all down in the front, right? And I can't help it because I have a musical ear. I would just be constantly
catch
trying
on.
it out, catch feels, trying to speak to people, and everyone's like, stop it. But I couldn't stop it, Gem. I had to keep trying to speak. Anyway, I started to have a sore jaw like 2 weeks in because I was like trying so hard.
Different mouth placement.
Different mouth placement.
Yeah.
And now, after a week of filming where I've had to be on it, lots of lines, lots of singing, lots of all sorts of things, I've got slack jaw.
Oh, babe. That's rough.
What I've learned is Revsy holds problems in her jaw.
A lot of people do.
Maybe I shouldn't be a podcaster.
Those TMJs, they house a lot of trauma,
A lot
apparently.
of trauma, a lot of tension.
Yes.
Speaking of trauma, this is Bestie Hotline.
And the dilemma tree is throbbing with trauma stories.
Trauma.
Ready to
top
dump
to
the
toe.
dilemmas
Yep.
onto the ground.
A trauma dump, if you will.
Yes, a
Lovely.
dilemma trauma dump.
Lovely,
Let's pick up
lovely.
those lemons and give them a cuddle.
Today, look, I'm sorry to report, is a write-in, but producer Kate felt that it was vital that we address this dilemma. So we're going to go with her very sound producerial opinion. Who called the Bestie Hotline today, Gem?
DL writes, my son in kindergarten came home saying one of his classmates doesn't have a dad. I don't know the family well, but I know the child lives with his mum and grandma. I initially told my son that not everyone has a dad and that he's lucky to have his mum and grandma. But he brought it up again the next day. After chatting with some mums, I found out the child was conceived via sperm donation. I want to explain this to my son in a positive way, but I'm just not sure how, especially since we live in a small rural town where this is new to us, but I'm sure we'll continue to see this more and more. Any advice, books, or something to help explain this as I am overthinking everything?
You sure are, babe. There's only one way to do this, and I feel very strongly.
Same.
Just say it.
Yes, I found it really interesting how she said, I want to explain this to my son in a positive way. I was like, there is no positive or negative. It's facts.
It's just a way. You just talk them through what sperm donation is, what going to a sperm donor is, what artificial insemination is, and that some women who want to be mothers but don't have a romantic partner, how they choose to go it alone in parenthood.
Yeah, just get sciencey and anatomical about it without feelings.
Yeah.
And I think you can explain to a child, like families come in all different shapes and sizes. Like, yes, this kid doesn't have a dad because the mum went through sperm donation. There are also kids who had a dad but lost their dad and their dad passed away. And there are so many variations of how a family
There are kids
looks.
with two mums, with two dads, with, we can go on and on about the different shapes. Separated families, repartnered, blended, it goes on and on. We know this. I think you just got to tell them about how it works, right? Are you worried about parroting in the playground? Because that can be part of the conversation. I think with quote unquote hard topics, although I don't think this needs to be one, sometimes parents worry, if I tell them all about it, they're going to go to school and tell everyone else and maybe someone didn't want it or whatever. I think you just can roll into this conversation. Now, I'm really happy to talk about this with you. I'm really happy to answer any questions you have, but this is a private, it's not
No, but it might be private.
Yeah, this is a private, we don't know how Harry wants to talk about his dad or his family. So this is something I wouldn't discuss with other kids, but you can ask me anything,
I think that's good.
Keep it like that.
I mean, kids, they model off you and your behavior. And I think the key thing here is to completely normalize it in how you talk about it and actually Make it more casual. It doesn't need to be a
100%.
big sit down explanation. You might just be driving in the car and say, hey, you know
Best
how
place
you.
for it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And you can just casually say, hey, you know how you asked me about so and so not having a dad? Well, if you want to talk about it, here it is, the
Yeah.
facts, and just lay them out straight. So it's not confusing or there's no emotions tied to it, because I don't think that's necessary.
If you hesitate and get weird and all that
Yeah.
stuff, they pick that up more than what you're actually saying. They pick up, oh, something's going on here,
Yeah.
or my mum feels uncomfortable for some reason. If it's helpful, we do have an old episode with a friend of the pod who went it alone, went through a sperm donor, and she very generously walked us through her entire story and how it works if you want to brush up on the facts. We'll put the link in the show notes for that one for you if you want to have a re-listen.
I remember growing up, Rebs, my mum's best friend, she's gay and she had a partner and they came to stay with us in Thailand. I remember she was always like, oh, they're coming to come and stay with us. And I just remember very vividly having slight confusion as to why there were two women married to each other. But my mum was so chill about it. Oh, yeah, that's her wife. Oh, yeah, women can marry women. And, I fed off her cues
Yeah.
with how normal that is.
Yeah.
And as a 6 or 7-year-old, I remember being like, oh, I didn't know that, but that's cool.
There we go.
And that
Yeah.
is that.
And
That
that's it.
is the long and short of it. I just accepted it immediately as being totally normal.
Yeah.
And I understood it's rare because I realized I haven't seen that.
Well, it
or-
was just your experience.
Yeah.
There are kids who grow up in more queer communities who
Totally.
are surrounded by that, and it wouldn't be abnormal for them. But if
Totally.
you grow up with a lot of hetero parents around you, of course you're going to be like, oh, I haven't seen that before. What's going on here? And natural curiosity is totally normal. But yeah, it's your parents' job to normalize it and go, ain't no thing, girl.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to invite curiosity and questions from our kids. And you know what? I always prefer to have the opportunity for them to hear the answer or my worldview from me rather than some kid in the playground spreading gossip and your kid forming an opinion about that and aligning it with being good or bad or right or wrong. It's better that it comes from you. And you know what? When kids bring up this stuff, I always go, okay, great. This is an opportunity that has just exposed itself to me and we can finally have this chat.
Tell you what, it's a much more interesting conversation than this Pokemon has these powers and this fucking one charges here. And it's like, oh, give me a
100p.
combo I actually want to have, for God's sake.
Absolutely.
Great dilemma.
Yes.
Glad you brought it to us.
I'm excited for you to,
Yeah.
and challenge yourself. I hear you, DL. I have been confronted with questions from my kids that I have not been ready for and feel completely caught off guard. And I'm like, oh, we're doing this. Okay, we're having a conversation about death right now in the car. I haven't gathered my thoughts.
Haven't even finished my finger bun.
Seriously, finger bun of all things.
Car snack.
Love it. And, you just take a deep breath and you go, no, don't be scared of the facts and the truth of it. And if that raises more questions, great. Just answer them and say, go. Often in my head, I build it up as, okay, I'm having this chat with my kids. And then I give them a small answer thinking it's going to be a half-hour conversation. And they go, cool, mum.
Yeah.
And then move on to the next.
Can I have
and
some
I'm
more
like, "Oh."
tiny teddies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that conversation's dust. And I'm like, oh, shame. I was quite gearing myself up,
Yeah.
ready to be a good mom
Yeah.
and have this conversation.
He's probably thinking, well, I have a dad and I can't imagine not having a dad. And
Yeah.
because kids at that age, they can only really refer to their own experience. So
totally.
it's a huge opportunity and I'm pumped for you too. Hey, DLs, can we ask a favor?
Yes, it's been a while.
Or
has it?
I don't know. We're always asking you for something. But today, we're just wondering, if you love the podcast, would you mind popping over to Apple and leaving a review?
Oh, yes, Rebsy, that would mean so much to us.
It does. And it would drown out the mean ones. It would be really nice.
And also it helps other mums who are looking to join an audio community.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps them find us so they can join the DL familia.
That's right. We've got a lot of DLs in waiting out there that, we're ready to welcome with open arms to our mothers group. We would love that. If you have it in you, drop us a quick review, 5 stars, of course, saying what you love about the show. We would be ever so grateful.
We hope you have a great weekend ahead planned, or maybe a chill one, or maybe an agenda-free weekend, which is always the dream, isn't it, Rebs?
That's your dream. I know that.
And I do not have that this weekend. I've got more extracurricular taking over my life.
Sure is.
But that's okay.
But babe, soon we'll be on tour.
I know. I'm so excited.
And we'll have 6 weekends
Stop it.
that we aren't doing sport. We're not doing
Eisteddfods.
parties. We're not doing Eisteddfods. We're not doing competition. We're not doing anything except delivering the best show ever to the DLs. Hope you've got your tickets, guys. Links to everything in the show notes.
We love you.
Bye-bye.